We're
Hello.
back after a long time of social distancing from each other and from you.
We needed it.
We did.
How's your summer?
I mean, great. So fun.
You didn't go on a trip?
No trips.
No.
No trips. No traveling.
All right.
So, speaking of kind of negativity and not being excited about having a normal summer, we would like to talk about getting back into school with a positive attitude. We noticed that a lot of adults are pretty bummed about their kids not going back to school. Being a teacher was maybe fun when I was 12, but not anymore. So our biggest recommendation would be, in terms of kids going back to school, would be have a positive attitude about it. Kids are not really excited about going back to school and doing e-learning. So if they hear us complaining about how terrible e-learning is, or wearing masks or social distancing, they're definitely taking that in and mimicking our behaviors.
Yeah.
So we want to be excited about masks as much as we can.
Well, people are annoyed with wearing masks, but especially young kids, they're like sponges. You know, if they see you fussing with your mask, if they see you getting frustrated, if they see you saying, I don't want to wear this, they're likely to adopt that same attitude. And when they eventually do go back into school, it's going to be a lot harder to make sure that they use the mask appropriately. So kind of not making a big deal out of it goes a long way to keeping everyone safe.
Yeah, just kind of make it your new normal, unfortunately. Even as much as we don't like it and want to complain about it, try to not do it in front of the kids.
Right.
So some kids are actually going to school, and parents have been asking us, what do we recommend for kids that are physically going into school? What can we say for those kids and how we should treat care of washing hands, kids coming home from school? Should they take a bath or a shower right after they get home from school? What do we recommend?
Yeah, well, I think hand washing continues to be the primary way to avoid getting sick. I think one thing you can do at home is before any meals, just get in the habit of washing hands before you eat. And then when kids come home after school, change their clothes right away, wash their hands. Could take a bath or a shower if needed. Not essential, but I think changing the clothes and washing hands, those are probably the most critical things.
Right, and not to give an anecdotal story, but all of us have been here in the office touching patients, wearing masks, washing our hands, and very few, if any, of us have gotten coronavirus.
Yeah.
So that's been pretty good to
Yeah.
say that we see patients all day, every day, and have been pretty lucky.
Absolutely, and we've had some amazing medical assistants and providers that are there almost every day, swabbing patients,
And didn't get it.
Yeah, and we've taken all the precautions. They've been very safe. So, washing hands, not touching your face, socially distancing, wearing a mask, those are things that work.
Definitely.
And we've seen that here in the office. We have not closed our office, but we've taken these precautions, and thankfully, we've had very few infections.
Yeah, and with that being said, we have stayed open. A lot of OBGYNs or family practices are not seeing patients in person still, which is just not great. So if you need a new provider, you can always come and see us. We're definitely seeing patients in office and are happy to see you.
Yes.
So speaking of your kids going back to school or not going back into actual school, we did want to talk about bringing your kids into the doctor's office and seeing a doctor for their regular yearly exams or vaccinations. We do see a little bit of hesitation with parents not bringing their kids in for their annual physicals and not staying up to date on vaccines. So can you tell us why that's not a good idea?
Well, we're going into flu season. So at a minimum, getting a flu vaccine is really important, but we already know that the vaccination rates for kids is going to go down just because of 3 or 4 months of people not going into the office. But it's really, really critical that these kids continue to get their wellness exams. Eventually, we hope that schools will open up again. And when that happens, you want to make sure that your children are still on that regular schedule.
Right, they're gonna go and be exposed to other kids in the future eventually. So it might sound like they don't need the vaccines right now because they're not exposed to other kids, but eventually they will be.
Absolutely.
So
and
they're gonna be at risk.
Yeah, and they'll be out in the community anyway. And we know that in communities that don't vaccinate, for example, for tetanus, Tdap, and whooping cough, if there are communities where those vaccination rates go down, there are a lot more cases. So it's still critical that parents do that.
Right, we don't need to cause another pandemic.
Please don't.
Please don't. Lastly, we have a special guest today who is not here. She is appropriately social distancing from her home. She is a mother of 4 and she homeschools her kids. So who better to ask than a homeschool expert about how to appropriately and effectively and efficiently homeschool your kids at home. So stay tuned to hear from Stacy Johnson. She has some good tips and tricks about things to do at home, how to keep kids involved, how to not eat too much sugar while at home, how to have good breaks.
She is a modern day Mary Poppins, and so
She's so cool.
yeah, I mean,
So much cooler.
she
than us.
has a lot of great tips, and hopefully they can apply even if you're not homeschooling. Good ways to break up routines. So take a listen.
All right, take care, you guys.
Hi guys.
Thanks for that awesome intro. So sweet. So I have a list of 10 things that I love to share with others when they're just beginning their homeschool journey, or maybe you're e-learning, or even like a hybrid situation. These are always some good things to remember. I taught special education for 6 years and I have 4 boys under the age of 10. So hopefully one of these will be a nice reminder of maybe something you already do like it, or you can incorporate something new into your routine. So here's number 1. It's called weekend prep. Sounds really not fun, but I promise it's worth it. So if you can spend an hour or even 2 on the weekend prepping for your week, this could be something like meal planning or for dinners, or it could be something like an outing that you want to plan, getting all the books together, making sure all the pencils are sharpened. Maybe you need colored pencils for that art activity for that week. Whatever it is, if you can spend even 5 or 10 minutes will pay off for the week, I promise. So if you can spend a few minutes Saturday or Sunday prepping for the week, I promise it will pay off. Number 2, movement. This is so important, especially for our younger kids, but also for us, for moms, and for if you're teaching or you're the supervisor or whatever your role is. Movement is so important right now. So if you cannot get outside and take a walk or a bike ride or a hike, YouTube has some great kid-friendly exercises. They have kid Pilates, kid yoga, they have kid meditation, and mom, dad, whoever's supervising the e-learning or the homeschooling, get in on the movement action too. I promise it'll help you. It'll give you that refresh that you need to keep going for the rest of the day. Number 3, this is part of that weekend prep, but it's so important that I made it its own thing, is snack prep. Snacks. Kids love the second breakfast, right? Kids love the pre-snack before the snack. So a way to cut down on this is to have designated snack times. Oh, it's not 10 o'clock, not time for snack yet. We have to do reading first. Another good way to keep snacks down for all that sugar and stuff is to have a veggie plate made and a fruit tray made, your own. You don't have to buy the expensive one at the grocery store. Grab a few fruits and vegetables, chop them up, put them in a tray, put them on the table. If they don't take it, it's okay. It's still there, it's still offered. You eat it and show them a good way to fuel up before learning. And that also helps with keeping, things tidy and clean and not having food all over your house all the time. Make a designated snack time and a snack place. Number 4, if your kids are at home a little more than normal, it's a great time to teach or refine some chores. I'm talking about getting out that Clorox wipe and cleaning the toilets. Yes, especially mama boys, you know what I'm talking about. or maybe washing some windows. Pinterest has a great list of things, and it can be overwhelming, but if you practice one chore a week, just one age-appropriate chore for each of your kids, really honing in on what that looks like in your house will really pay off. So how about making your bed? Step one, let's learn how to make your bed. Practice that all week long. Build on top of that. Number 5, if they're gonna be home extra longer, it's a great opportunity to learn a new skill. Maybe you've wanted to learn Spanish. YouTube again. Maybe you've wanted to learn how to paint and your child's interested in that too. Another great skill to learn right now is snail mail, correspondence. We're not able to travel as much and see family and relatives. So writing letters, writing postcards, creating your own envelopes, creating your own stationery. This is a great way and time to do that. Actually, it's a great time to even start thinking about homemade Christmas gifts. You could start a new skill now and make some Christmas gifts for later. Okay, here's number 6. Discover nature. I know if you're in the area, the south suburbs like I am of Chicago, there are so many forest preserves and nature walks. You don't have to walk a long time. You can walk for 10 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. Pick a site. I know some nature centers are open limited times right now, but even if you can't get into the center, check out a path and you could easily find a new leaf and look up and see what the tree name is. If you can't get out of your home or your condo or wherever you are, just try looking on your street or your backyard and identify some things in nature that will get you and your child talking about the things that they observe every day around them. Number 7, reading aloud. Kids love to be read aloud at any age, so don't be afraid to offer them that. And if you're not comfortable with reading aloud, or maybe you don't have the time because you're working while you're also supervising homeschooling, check out Audible. They have a lot of free books that are that come with a subscription, and they have some great things that kids can listen to. So carve out some Audible or read aloud time each day for your kids. It's a great afternoon activity. Number 8, curbside pickup for your library. If you don't feel comfortable going into the library, that's totally fine. I know a lot are offering curbside pickup. So you can go online, choose the books you want. Maybe it's themed for Thanksgiving or Halloween or just the fall in general, and you can pick up a whole list of books for that. Maybe you pick up some nature books because you're gonna head out on a nature hike, or grab a new book to learn that new skill you were thinking about. That's a great option to do curbside pickup at the library. Also, the library, I know our library is offering online classes for free for toddlers and preschoolers and some teen reading things. So don't forget to check out your local library. Number 9, make someday fun. It can be a lot to be at home all day, all the time with limited outdoor activities, especially as winter is upon us. So make Saturday morning extra special. Make those pancakes. Maybe let them do some Saturday morning cartoons. Maybe make Friday Fun Friday, dress silly, wacky, something like that. Whatever it is, have a chat about it, agree on it, and then see if you can keep doing that during this time to make it a little bit more fun. And last but not least is please be sure to keep your regular checkups with your doctor, those well visits, the vaccines, your dentist. Most dentist offices are seeing people still just in maybe smaller quantities or, with more breaks in between. Make sure you still stay with those checkups. All right, guys, I hope you liked these tips.